This guitar started out as a nothing, really. Like I made it and remade it a number of times. It started out about 40 years ago, this one. I know that because my youngest son is about 40, and I started it when he was just a little guy. He was just a year or two old. So originally I had a Fender Jaguar neck on this guitar, and it was a little too close and too crimped for me. I had it on there for years and years. I made the guitar, I remade the guitar, I sawed it down. Right in this room here, I took a Max 77 skill saw, and it was a little longer, it was a little wider, and I made it a little smaller. And what I did was each time I made it a little different. First time, the square, which is the Bo Diddley style, I like that best myself. I don't know why, but Bo Diddley was an influence on me. I mentioned that before many times. But it was up here, and I couldn't get access on the neck as high, so I cut into it further down, and I made it cut into it, and I made it shorter. That's the first time. The second time, I modified it. I took some off, like I mentioned, I took some off the sides and the back. But I've had it a long time, made it and remade it. The Jaguar neck was too close. I ended up taking the Jaguar neck off because the scale was too short. And I sold the Jaguar neck on eBay, and I got about $500 and some from somebody in a foreign country. Bought it. So, it's got Telecaster wiring. Originally had 2 humbuckings on it, so it's fit for 2 humbuckings. And I got the longer scale. And each time you move the scale, you got to move the bridge to match the scale. So you can see back here, I got a couple of different holes in it, but right now it plays good, sounds good. It's got the maple neck on. Sometimes I paint the head to match the body, not all the time, sometimes. And it's a taste thing. I kind of go with my own taste, so to speak. But so I put different bridges on. I had, I'm sure I had Stratocaster bridges on here at one time, and Gibson tunimatics and different things. But it's made out of it's a backup paneling. I reversed a piece of paneling so it'd be smooth all the way across, and I got Bondo on there and things to smooth it out from different.
You mean regular wall paneling?
Regular wall paneling, just like from a regular house. Like the back was smooth, so I sealed it and used it. I got the binding from a friend of mine who works at a guitar place, and I put the binding on. It's one of my first experiences with binding. But you use Duco cement, like the airplane glue, basically, and you wrap it with rubber bands to get the binding on. So I went with binding because like a Les Paul Custom has double binding on. I did that because that was my taste. I kind of went with that at the time. But turned out to be kind of an attractive guitar. Sounds good, plays good.
How about the paint?
The paint. I originally, like I said, I made it and remade it a number of different times. First time I used, it was red, and I used a lacquer. And I, what I did was, a lacquer dries instantly, real quick. And I used warm water and wet sanded it to get like a mirror-like finish. This time here, I painted it with an acrylic enamel with a hardener in it. And I was real disappointed in the finish for a month or two, and then I decided, I got nothing to lose. I'm so disappointed in the orange peel on it but I did put hardener in there and stuff. So I got the bucket of water out, and I got the 1000 grit sandpaper and some rubbing compound, and I started dipping it in there, rubbing it, and I could tell as soon as I started wet sanding it that I could get a smooth finish, like a mirror-like finish or a nice finish. And that worked out really well. It didn't take all that long. It probably took an hour and a half to wet sand, the guitar and everything, and then, scrape the paint off of the Actually I painted it with the binding on. You paint it over, and then I scraped the paint off of the binding. So the binding turned out just kind of my first experience with binding, but I kind of liked it. You know, I was looking for something different. So
Let's hear what it sounds like, Aug.
all right. Let's see if I could. I'm a Chicago blues guy, so I play a little riff here.